Influence. We're joined now live by Dennis Sammut. He's from the London Information Network on conflicts and state building. Mr. Sammut, thanks for being with us. Appreciated. The September 11th attacks provoked, didn't they, a wave of anti-Islamic sentiment across the West. Could this have been one of al-Qaeda's aims to heighten anger towards Muslims, to justify their own holy war, do you think?
Well, the attacks were a challenge not only to the Western world, it was a challenge to the whole civilized world, and the condemnation of the attacks at the time came from far and wide, including from the Muslim world. But obviously, in people's minds, there has been a connection made between Al-Qaeda and Islam, and this has created confusion in the minds of many people who perhaps do not watch the process carefully. Clearly, this was one of Al-Qaeda's objectives, and to the extent that it has succeeded, they have been able to achieve that objective. But it's up to all of us, but also up to the Muslim world itself to flesh out the extremists and expose them for what they are.
The US State Department this week acknowledged, didn't it, links to al-Qaeda, maybe in the North Caucasus. How significant is this as recognition that America and Russia are fighting a common enemy, do you think?
Well, terrorism is a common enemy, whether terrorism takes place in New York or in the Moscow metro or in the London Underground, or indeed whether civilians, innocent civilians, are attacked in schools in Gaza or wherever. The loss of innocent life in these kinds of attacks is to be condemned. There is clearly a common objective to try to expose, identify and rid the world of those who are creating and perpetrating these terrorist attacks. Now, the situation in the North Caucasus is complex, multi-layered, but certainly part of the process has now been completely hijacked by Islamist radicals, and in that regard there is certainly a common agenda in trying to identify the people who are behind these attacks, both in the North Caucasus as well in other parts of the world.
What about the movement of terrorists? Is there evidence there's a flow of terrorists between the North Caucasus, Afghanistan and Pakistan, for instance?
Well, Al-Qaeda is the type of organization that has actually been quite flexible in the way it operates, and there are clearly connections between terrorist groups in Afghanistan and Pakistan and the attacks that have taken place both in 9/11 in the United States as well as in other parts of the world, including in the North Caucasus. There are some clear signs that there are connections between elements in the North Caucasus who are doing attacks such as the one in Vladikavkaz earlier this week, and Al-Qaeda groups in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
And so how do you go about tackling it? Do you think the dismantling of North Caucasus terror hubs could become something that America is likely to assist with more and more directly in the future?
Well, we need a multi-tiered approach. On the one hand, there needs to be the struggle to eliminate terrorism and to flesh out and eliminate terrorist groups. But this must go hand in hand with the process of trying to understand why the terrorists still find recruits from amongst young people, particularly in the Muslim world. I don't think that you can do one without doing the other. You have to do both simultaneously. So there needs to be a security operation, but there also needs to be an operation that involves values, human rights, dialogue, and these kinds of operations need to go hand in hand. The United States, Russia, the European Union, and indeed the rest of the world need to work together on both fronts, not simply on one, but on both.
All right, well, good to have your thoughts on the programme. Dennis Sammut joining us there from the London Information Network and Conflicts and State Building Organisation, the organisation you represent, and joining us, as I say, from London. Thank you.